try to convince you to fight it, man. You need to fight the case, man, blah, blah, blah. Nah, I'm guilty. I already know I'm guilty. No sense of me trying to fight the case, none of that. So I go to the court, to the judge, and the judge asked me, did I accept the plea? I said, yes, Your Honor, I accept the plea. And so he postponed sentencing for another day, so. And during the plea agreement, it was a 10 to 15 year plea bargain agreement that I accepted. And so he said, well, he'll sit at sentencing another day. So maybe a month later, we go back for sentencing. And this where things get crazy. I'm already out of my mind. I can't think any damn way. Emotionally disturbed, mentally, distorted on so many levels. But when I went to get sentenced, to my surprise, the judge said he can't be bound by the plea agreement. He's going to give me 12 years instead of 10. Now, as I look back in hindsight, that was still a good deal, considering. But at the moment, I felt betrayed. I felt tricked that they had me to plead guilty under the pretense that I was going to get 10 to 15 years. Everybody knowing I'm guilty now. When I go to get sentenced, they up the ante on me. I feel betrayed. I mean, granted, I've been neglected and abandoned all my life. So that was like a trigger for me. And I snapped. I said, no, man, I'm taking it to trial. In my mind, I'm gonna make y'all spend some money since y'all wanna fuck me over, play these games with me. I'm gonna take it to trial. Matter of fact, I'm gonna take a bench trial. Since you already know I'm guilty any damn way, but y'all playing game, I wanna play game. Make you spend a little money. So to make a long story short, my lawyer kept trying to convince me to go ahead and take the deal. But I was so hurt, man. I felt so betrayed when they did that switcheroo on me. And like I said, in hindsight, it was still a good deal. But, I just felt hurt. I just felt, taken advantage of, And so I took it to a bench trial. I followed through with it. I didn't have no family members support, nobody coming up and telling me, hey, fool, you better take that down to it. What the hell are you doing? You already told these people you done that. You're going to try to take a doggone bench trial with the judge who already told you you're going to give you 12. You on some stupid stuff. And I ain't had nobody to support, nobody to come and try to talk no sense to me in my head. I didn't have that. Now, my lawyer did. I got to give him credit. He tried to talk to me the whole way through, but I was defiant. I said, no. You said 10, 15, that's what you're supposed to give me. You raised up on me. You reneged. You played me like a dummy. Blah, blah. That was how I was feeling at the time. And so, after the trial was over, the bench trial was over, he set a sentencing date. So I go, after about a year in the county jail, I finally go for my final sentence. The judge was so ticked off by my antics that he gave me 25 to 50 years. I guess he said, you want to be stupid, I'm going to be even stupider. You know, 'cause you didn't want to take this 12, I'm going to double it. You know, compounded by 2. You know, my knees buckled, you know, a little bit. I try to stand strong. My knees buckled when the reality hit me of what I had just done to myself. Poor decision after poor decision after poor decision after poor decision. I couldn't even think my way out of that situation. Too emotionally charged, you know, feeling hurt, abandoned, neglected, all those things I experienced my entire life. You know, it just triggered me when he raised my sentence up to 12, just 2 little years. It just did something to me. I lost it. You know, everybody in the whole world, even the system, is abandoning and neglecting me. You know, that's how I felt. The whole world against me. So, I get sentenced to 25 to 50 years in prison. About a month later, I'm taken to Jackson Prison in Michigan, the world's largest walled prison. It's about 4,000 people up in this joke. And I remember the day I walked through the bubble when I heard them steel doors cling behind me. I said to myself right then and there, I'm coming out of this place one or two ways. Standing up like a man or laying down in a body bag. And it ain't no in between. And that was etched in stone. Wasn't no in between. Either I'm coming out of here standing up like a man, or they rolling me out in a body bag. Period. That was my philosophy from day one until the end. So I'm getting dressed out. I'm in the big house now. They moved me to the big yard, you know, I think 3 block. I was in 3 block, yeah. And I was in 3 block, man, and my life had been so how would I say, so tumultuous, so devastating up to that point that even that 25 to 50 years didn't even compare to what I had already been through. I had been through like from 13 to 19, 6 years of youth home every year, in and out of youth home for 6 years, all my adolescent life. In addition to all the stuff that I've been through. So that wasn't nothing. Doing a bit wasn't nothing. You know, it wasn't nothing. So that part I knew I can handle. Doing the bit, it's, you know, trying to navigate with these crazy motherfuckers that's in there, these killers and these murderers, you know, and every other, you know, crazy species that you can find known to mankind all lumped up and thrown into this crab barrel. We got 4,000 of us running around on this big yard like a little city. So I get a job. So by the time I got sentenced, I was like 23, then 24. By the time I got sentenced, I was like 25 years old. I had a year credit in the county jail. About the time I got sentenced, I was 25. I was in 84. And so I'm walking around the joint, and I guess my first job was working in the. No, I was a porter, sweeping the catwalks, you know, and the galleries, you know, every day in my side of the block. And but then I ended up getting a job in the lock shop, you know, fixing the prison doors, the lock mechanisms and stuff. And cause that was my first job in the penitentiary, you know. And I remember shortly after I was there, a guy got murdered on my gallery, man. But I was at work. I was in the lock shop. When I came back, you know, they was questioning everybody, you know, on the gallery, you know, about did they see anything, who did it or whatever. But I wasn't there, so I didn't, and they know I wasn't there because they record everywhere you go. You got to check out and check in, and so they already knew I wasn't there, so I ain't had no problem, you know. But what kind of tripped me out about the whole thing, the crazy part of it was the guy was the laundry man, and the guy was mad that his laundry came back dirty and killed the guy. And that blew me away, man. I'm like, damn, for real? You so mad that your clothes came back dirty that you killed a motherfucker? That's when I knew I might have to strap up, because this shit might get wicked and wild and crazy around here. But I was in the best place in the whole joint. I was in the lock shop. And across the hall was special metals, all kind of iron and steel for specific jobs that need to be fabricated, you know, to fix certain maintenance stuff in the prison. So I was in the best place when it came to putting one of those bone crushers together. That's what we call shanks. You know, when you had a mean motherfucker shank, they called it a bone crusher because it penetrate bones and everything. Couldn't nothing stop it. That's what they call them, bone crushers. I done seen many of them too. in people's necks and people's heads, you know. So I felt kind of confident. Now I'm in the best spot. I wish I would, you know. You don't want me to go up there and fabricate some shit. I got all the special metal on the compound. I can fabricate anything, a hatchet, a sword, like whatever. I can manufacture anything I want, so I feel secure. I wish I would. Skid Row slicer I told y'all about earlier. I went to War Airs and, got that machete. I can manufacture one of them. So I wasn't worried about nothing. But I didn't do nothing for nobody else neither. I didn't manufacture nothing for nobody else. That was just for me. But I needed it. Some other guys that worked in there, they had a little hustle. They, did a little business on the side with certain people, And so